Good morning. Standing here today, I want to share something deeply personal yet universal, the idea that we never truly lose in life. We either win or we learn. This mindset isn't just a mantra, it's a way of embracing life's challenges with courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to grow. Life is not a straight line, it's a wild, unpredictable, messy journey. We all face setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But here's the truth, every time we stumble, we're offered two choices: hide in the shame of falling or rise with the lessons learned. Winning feels great, doesn't it? It validates our hard work, but learning is where transformation happens. It's in our failures that we discover our strength. It's when things fall apart that we realize what we're truly made of. The world will try to convince us that success is the only goal, but I believe success lies in showing up, in daring greatly, in trying even when the odds are stacked against us. When we choose to see failures as opportunities, we disarm the fear of failure itself. So today, I want to invite you to embrace this mindset. Let's redefine what it means to fail. Let's honor the courage it takes to try and the wisdom that comes from learning. Because when we choose to live like this, we never lose, we either win or we grow. Failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone to growth. In the moment, failure can feel like a devastating blow, as if the ground beneath us has been ripped away. It stirs feelings of doubt, shame, and even regret. But what if we began to see failure differently? What if, instead of a final destination, we viewed it as part of the journey, a necessary stop along the way? Think about some of the greatest breakthroughs in history, from scientific discoveries to personal achievements. Rarely, if ever, did these come from a single perfect attempt. They were the result of trial and error, of falling down and getting back up again. Failure becomes powerful when we allow it to teach us something we couldn't have learned otherwise. It reveals blind spots, pushes us to innovate, and forces us to think differently. When we fail, we're given opportunity to pause and reflect. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? These are not questions meant to shame us, but to guide us. They lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The beauty of failure lies in its ability to strip away pretenses. It humbles us, reminds us that we're human, and keeps us grounded, but it also shows us our resilience. Each time we pick ourselves up, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of enduring, adapting, and growing. Failure, when embraced, becomes a teacher. It may not always be pleasant, but its lessons are invaluable. It's not an ending, it's an invitation, a chance to rewrite the story, learn from the past, and emerge stronger. Every so-called failure we encounter is simply life's way of helping us grow into the person we're meant to be. Courage is the ability to step into uncertainty, to face challenges head-on, even when there's no guarantee of success. It's not about being fearless, it's about moving forward despite the fear. In a world that often prioritizes comfort, where the familiar feels safe and the unknown seems risky, choosing courage can feel like an uphill battle. Yet it's in those moments of uncertainty and vulnerability where true growth happens. When we prioritize courage over comfort, we step outside the boundaries of what feels easy or safe. This might mean pursuing a dream that others dismiss, starting over after a setback, or simply taking that first step into uncharted territory. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as having a difficult conversation, asking for help, or admitting that we don't have all the answers. These actions may seem small, but they require an immense amount of bravery. Comfort is tempting. It offers familiarity, a sense of control, and the illusion of stability. But staying within the confines of comfort often comes at a cost. Stagnation. Growth, by its very nature, is uncomfortable. It requires us to stretch, to take risks, and to confront parts of ourselves that we might prefer to avoid. Without courage, we risk settling for less than we're capable of achieving. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. It's choosing to move forward even when we're unsure of the outcome. And while comfort might shield us from failure, it also prevents us from experiencing the joy of accomplishment, the satisfaction of overcoming challenges, and the lessons that come with taking risks. Courage, on the other hand, opens doors to opportunities, to self-discovery, and to a life that feels deeply authentic and fulfilling. By choosing courage, we honor the part of ourselves that longs to grow, to explore, and to thrive. Each courageous act, no matter how small, builds the foundation for a life that isn't defined by fear, but by resilience, possibility, and the willingness to try. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. We're taught to see it as weakness, as a crack in the armor that leaves us exposed to judgment or rejection. But in reality, vulnerability is one of the greatest strengths we can possess. It's the willingness to show up as we are, imperfect, uncertain, and open to whatever comes next. It's in this openness that true connection, growth, and transformation take root. Think about the moments in life that have shaped you most of the times when you felt truly alive, connected, or courageous. Chances are those moments required you to take a leap of faith, to let go of control, and to risk failure or disappointment. Whether it's starting a new job, expressing your feelings to someone you care about, or sharing a creative idea, vulnerability is the thread that runs through all acts of bravery. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to authenticity. We stop pretending to have it all figured out and start embracing the reality of being human. This honesty not only deepens our relationships with others, but also strengthens our relationship with ourselves. We begin to see that we don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. Vulnerability also invites us to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, there are no guarantees. By accepting this, we free ourselves from the paralyzing need for control and instead lean into the unknown with curiosity and courage. Vulnerability teaches us that it's okay to take risks even if we can't predict the outcome. Of course, being vulnerable is not always easy. It requires us to face our fears of failure, rejection, or criticism. But these fears lose their power when we stop hiding from them. In fact, vulnerability often leads to unexpected strength. It's through acknowledging our struggles that we find resilience. It's in admitting we don't have all the answers that we create space for growth and learning. By embracing vulnerability, we redefine what it means to be strong. It's not about never falling. It's about daring to rise after each fall. It's about showing up even when it's uncomfortable and being brave enough to let the world see who we really are. Resilience is the quiet strength that allows us to rise after a fall, to face challenges with determination, and to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough. It's not something we're born with. It's something we build over time, shaped by the choices we make when life tests us. And life will test us through disappointments, setbacks, and losses that shake us to our core. But resilience is what allows us to face these moments not as endings, but as opportunities to grow stronger. It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go as planned. The weight of failure, or adversity can make us question ourselves, our worth, and our ability to continue. But resilience is about how we respond to those moments. It's about finding the inner strength to stand back up, dust ourselves off, and take the next step. Resilience doesn't mean we're unbreakable. It means we're capable of rebuilding, of adapting, and of finding a way forward even in the face of uncertainty. Building resilience starts with a mindset shift. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, we can choose to view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Each setback teaches us something about ourselves, about our limits, our strengths, and our capacity for perseverance. And with each challenge we overcome, we become more equipped to handle the next one. Resilience also requires self-compassion. It's important to give ourselves grace during difficult times, to recognize that it's okay to struggle and that healing and progress take time. When we stop judging ourselves for falling and start focusing on how we can rise, we create space for growth. Perhaps most importantly, resilience is not a solitary journey. Leaning on others for support, seeking guidance, and sharing our experiences can strengthen our ability to bounce back. Community and connection remind us that we're not alone and that even in our toughest moments, we have the power to keep going. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, it's about facing it with courage and determination. It's about recognizing that while life may knock us down, we have the strength to get back up. And each time we do, we prove to ourselves that we are more capable, more resourceful, and more resilient than we ever imagined. Every setback we face, no matter how frustrating or painful, carries a lesson hidden within it. At first, it can be hard to see. When things go wrong, it's natural to feel disappointment, anger, or self-doubt. But over time, if we're willing to reflect, those setbacks often reveal truths we might not have discovered otherwise. The key is to approach challenges with curiosity rather than judgment, asking not, why did this happen to me? But what can I learn from this? Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that's okay. Mistakes and failures are inevitable. But these moments are not reflections of our worth, they are opportunities for growth. A missed opportunity might teach us the value of preparation. A failed project might show us where our strengths lie or where we need to improve. Even the pain of rejection can offer clarity about what truly matters to us and what we're willing to fight for. Lessons often come in disguise. They don't arrive neatly packaged with clear instructions. Instead, they require us to dig deep, to sit with our discomfort, and to process what has happened. It's in this process that we grow. The lessons we learn from our struggles become the foundation for future success. They make us more resilient, more self-aware, and better equipped to handle what's ahead. It's important to remember that learning from setbacks doesn't mean we ignore the pain they cause. Acknowledging our emotions is part of the process. Growth doesn't happen by pretending everything is fine. It happens when we face challenges honestly and with an open heart. When we do this, we begin to see setbacks not as failures, but as stepping stones that guide us toward a better version of ourselves. Ultimately, every lesson we learn shapes who we are. The experiences that stretch us, challenge us, and push us outside our comfort zones are the ones that leave the deepest impact. They remind us that life is not just about the destination, it's about the journey, and every twist and turn along the way has something to teach us. The question is, are we willing to listen? Celebrating the effort is about recognizing the value of showing up and trying regardless of the outcome. In a world so focused on results, winning, achieving, and succeeding, we often overlook the immense courage and determination it takes just to take that first step. Yet, effort is the foundation of all progress. It's what pushes us forward, even when success feels uncertain or far away. Every time we set a goal, take a risk, or venture into the unknown, we are demonstrating bravery. Effort is what fuels that bravery. It's not always glamorous or celebrated, but it's the quiet force behind every accomplishment. Without effort, dreams remain just dreams. But with it, we give ourselves the chance to turn those dreams into reality, even if the path is filled with challenges. Recognizing effort allows us to shift our focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. It's about acknowledging the hard work, persistence, and dedication we bring to the table, even when things don't go as planned. Maybe you didn't get the promotion, win the race, or achieve the result you hoped for, but you tried. You showed up, and that is something to be proud of. Effort is also where growth happens. Each time we put in the work, we learn something about the task, about others, and most importantly, about ourselves. It's through the process of trying that we discover our strengths, confront our weaknesses, and develop the skills we need to improve. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, the journey shapes us in ways that success alone never could. Sometimes the smallest steps require the greatest effort. Getting out of bed on a difficult day, asking for help, or choosing to keep going when everything feels overwhelming, these are victories in their own right. Celebrating effort is about honoring these moments, no matter how small they may seem. It's about giving ourselves credit for having the courage to try, to persist, and to continue moving forward. When we celebrate effort, we redefine success. It's no longer about reaching the finish line first or achieving a specific goal. It's about the commitment we bring to the process. It reminds us that the act of trying is always worthwhile, no matter the result, because every effort we make brings us closer to becoming the best version of ourselves. Growth over perfection is a mindset that embraces progress, learning, and evolution rather than an unattainable standard of flawlessness. Perfection often feels like a finish line we're endlessly chasing, a goal that always seems just out of reach. It's an ideal that convinces us we have to get everything right the first time, that mistakes are unacceptable, and that anything less than perfect isn't good enough. But the truth is, perfection is a myth, a false expectation that holds us back more than it moves us forward. When we prioritize growth, we give ourselves permission to be human. Growth is messy, nonlinear, and full of trial and error. It's about embracing the journey of learning and improvement rather than fixating on an imaginary point of arrival. Growth allows us to appreciate how far we've come, even if we're not yet where we want to be. It reminds us that every step forward, no matter how small, is meaningful. Perfection often demands rigidity, but growth thrives on flexibility. It's about adapting, experimenting, and being open to change. When we shift our focus to growth, mistakes stop being sources of shame and start being opportunities for discovery. We learn to ask questions like, what can I take away from this experience? And how can I do better next time? This mindset transforms failures from dead ends into stepping stones that lead us closer to our goals. Focusing on growth also relieves the pressure of needing to have it all figured out. It allows us to celebrate progress rather than criticize imperfections. Maybe you're not fluent in that new language yet, but you're learning words and phrases every day. Maybe you're not the expert in your field, but you're showing up, putting in the effort, and getting better with each attempt. These small victories matter because they are evidence of growth. This mindset also fosters self-compassion. When we stop striving for perfection, we make space to acknowledge our efforts, to recognize our resilience, and to honor our capacity for learning and adaptation. It encourages us to meet ourselves where we are rather than where we think we should be. Choosing growth over perfection doesn't mean we don't aim high or strive for excellence. It means we focus on the process rather than the outcome. It's about valuing who we're becoming through our efforts, not just what we achieve in the end. This perspective not only makes the journey more fulfilling, but also ensures that our successes are rooted in genuine growth, not in the pressure to appear flawless. In the end, life is not about being perfect or always getting it right. It's about showing up, embracing who we are, and learning from every experience, whether we succeed or stumble along the way. Each step, each challenge, each failure is a part of the beautiful, messy, and transformative journey that shapes us into who we're meant to be. So, the next time you face a setback, remember you haven't lost, you've learned. You haven't failed, you've grown. Embrace the process, honor the effort, and trust that with each moment you're moving closer to the person you are becoming. And above all, be kind to yourself along the way, because the most important lesson of all is to love and accept yourself, flaws and all, as you navigate this journey called life.